This is the victim game. This is a game that your ego loves to play on you. And in this video, we're gonna look at why and how does that work. Why is it that the ego likes to create so many self-depreciating victim mentality stories that keeps us in suffering, that keeps us in low confidence, that affects us, that disconnect us from the source of who we really are, that disconnects us from what we want to achieve and create in this life. It is something that happens all around you all the time. It is something that this society thrives on simply because a lot of us are simply acting out of our ego construct. And as you break down this structure, you're going to see it with a lot of clarity, and also we're going to look at exactly how you can stop playing this victim game and go back into your full power to create and manifest everything that you want in your life. Okay? It's powerful. Let's go. This ego game is something that the ego loves to play. Why is that? Because the ego craves above all significance, feeling special, status, being different, being unique, just having all of that, sense of almost like vanity. But it's one of our deepest need as human beings is significance. If you look at society right now, and the reason why there's just so much materialism, not that this is good or bad, but the reason why we strive to have better watch, better car, more money, more status, more, is to get that sense of significance, importance, right? It's so important to us. Equally, what is most damaging to us is feeling insignificant, feeling worthless, feeling, belittled, humiliated, shame. And that's why those negative emotions are extremely difficult for us to handle and makes us very vulnerable. But the ego, if you cannot feel significant in a certain way, the ego has no problem with being especially miserable and getting benefits, getting sympathy, getting a tap on the back, getting that story to get attention and get significance through misery. And that's why they say that misery likes company. So in this ego victim triangle, we need 3 key ingredients that are always in every single one of our stories. And this is important to understand. The first thing that we need is a victim. But in order to have a victim, the victim is basically every time you feel disempowered, every time you wonder, why is this happening? Why is this not working out? Why am I not manifesting? Why is it everybody is getting what they want, but it's not happening for me? Why is the whole world attacking me? Why do I keep on attracting those bad people, even though I'm a good person, I'm doing all those things and bad things are happening for me? You see what it happened? So for the victim, there is something around them in their environment, a people, a person, a situation, and something is happening that is creating the pain, the anger, the disappointment, whatever it is that they're experiencing in their reality at that moment. So the victim needs a bully or a victimizer, right? We're gonna say bully because it's shorter to write. And this is where the games begin, because now the victim has somebody to attack, somebody to blame for their misfortune, for the way they feel, for their life condition, for what is not working. And sometimes the ego is so sneaky that the bully is yourself. And this is when you self-sabotage. This is when you do something and that you shouldn't do. This is when you don't commit. This is when you don't follow through, and then you go beat yourself wondering, why did I create this situation in my life, right? So it's sneaky. It doesn't always have to be another person or a situation. It can also be internal. But to complete this game, there's a third element, one that we don't always notice, and that is the hero. And at first, you might feel like, well, the hero must be something good. The victim is always looking for who or what is going to rescue me. Who is what is going to save the day? Who or what is going to allow me to change this situation? I don't like my job or my boss or whatever, why? Because they're abusing me or because this is happening. So I get a different job. I don't like my partner. The relationship is not working. They don't show me any love or attention. They don't do things anymore. I'm going to get another relationship, or I'm going to get out. Yeah? I'm going to wait for the government or somebody to bail me out, to give me money, to support me, to change the law, to make something better. I'm going to wait for an act of God. I'm going to wait for my manifestation to happen, and then I'm going to stop feeling like a victim. The moment my manifestation happen and I get that money, or this happen, or I get that car, or I get that thing, then I can drop that whole story and everything's gonna be okay. So you see, the victim is always waiting for something or someone or sometime or some place or some change in the environment, even your manifestation, meaning getting something I don't currently have in order for them to change the state and move into an empowering feeling, significance, feeling better, happier, more fulfilled in life. The challenge is that this is disempowering in so many ways, because every time you play the victim card, you are identifying a little bit. Your ego identify with the current situation. And what that does over a period of time is that it starts to change your self-concept. And now you start to become a victim. Your mentality, your self-concept, the way you see yourself, the way you talk to yourself, the way you limit yourself in your life, but also the way you show up in your reality becomes a victim. And so every time something is not working, you play the self-pity card, or you feel like hopeless, or you feel like there's nothing I can do, it's not me, it's this, I tried, it doesn't work. And you always end up feeling disempowered, lacking, in scarcity, angry, disgusted, disappointed, sorry for yourself. And it's so damaging, because what it does for your confidence, for your self-esteem, for your self-worth over time is extremely belittling. But it's also the opposite of who and what you truly are. Because who you are is not a victim. Who you are is not your ego, it's not in this game. You are far more powerful, you are far more resourceful. You are an infinite being having a physical experience. You are that consciousness, that observer. This is who you really are in your essence. But as you identified with the situation that is happening now, or the past negative situation when you felt like a victim, and this is not to deny that bad thing happened to you. This is not to deny that people, who've been to traumatic events and so on, that they should not feel this way, right? That's not what I'm saying. Handling and healing those emotional responses that were warranted in what and how it happened is okay. It's part of a healthy process of healing. What I'm referring about is, are you going to identify and create a self-concept now, sometimes decades after what happened, that is not allowing you to create the life that you truly want, that is not allowing you to create more fulfilling, loving relationship, that is creating you in this misery, in this hopelessness, helplessness, not allowing you to expand. So there is a difference between having a victim mentality and being a victim. Okay, I want this to be very, very clear. So you can see that in this victim triangle, there is no win-win. Everything is a lose, because you are not a victim at your core. You have so much tremendous creative power. But if your mind is locked in seeing yourself as a victim, is only being able to think in a certain narrow concept that life and people and things are against me, and that I cannot change my situation because of this or that or them, you're always going to go back in this place. And this place is filled with suffering, sorry for yourself, anger, lacking, not having enough, more pain, more attraction of things that you don't want. And you're only going to perpetuate creating more situations that makes you feel like a victim. Why? Because once you identify with that self-concept, this is what your reality is. So what you're saying to life is that I am a victim, please abuse me. And I know that those are strong words, but this is what a lot of people do. We create literally self-fulfilling prophecy, and so our pattern of attraction in the future become predictable based on how we choose to interpret certain events or certain things that happen in our past. That's why it's so important to heal what happened in our past, those traumatic events, those negative events, those events that were unfortunate, that should not have happened, but to allow ourselves to realize that I'm no longer gonna let this experience define me, or those people define who I am or how I feel or where my life is going. I'm going to realize that this is not me. I'm not gonna play this game anymore. I can recreate my life, my identity. I am bigger than anything and anyone. And if I can expand my thinking, and if I can allow myself to step outside of this game and see my ego simply craving significance, simply craving attention, simply craving for the essence of what I think that hero will bring into my life. What will money bring you? What will a new partner bring you? What will somebody who rescue you bring you? What will that person bring you? What is the emotional equivalent of what that person will bring you? This is really what you're after. This is really what you need to harbor here in your heart if you want to heal and transform your reality. Because the moment you step out of this game and you refuse to think from life through the eyes of a self-victimized person, and you start to see like, you know what? I have tremendous creative power. You know what? I can change my perception. I can change my belief. I can decide that the past is not going to be my future. I can choose to let go, to forgive. I can choose to start blank and recreate different things in my life. It's never too late. But in order to do that, I must take responsibility for where I am now, for how I think, for how I feel, for how I see myself. And I need to stop projecting blame and my fear and my anger and my sadness and my shame and all those baggages onto the environment. Because if I do that, I'm gonna keep on recreating victimizers and bullies and other forms of people who will treat you in a certain way, simply because they're projections of part of you that requires you to integrate them and heal them so that you can start becoming a different person. The truth of you is that you are not a freaking victim, and you need to anchor that. You need to start talking to yourself, seeing yourself in a very different way. And a lot of that requires healing your own sense of self-worth, recognizing that you deserve far greater. And you need to start to bring that into your awareness, into the way you talk to yourself, into the way you show up in yourself, into the way you see other people, into the way you see life and reality and the world around you. And simply realize that this ego game is never going to bring you the significance or the love or the connection or the freedom that you desire. It is only going to keep you in more misery. So as you step out of this triangle, what is going to happen is that you have now an opportunity to simply observe, to be the observer, to be that infinite field of consciousness that you are, and to realize that life only responds to who I am being. So when you tap into who you really are, and this is a bit of a spiritual approach, right? When you choose to realize that I am a field of consciousness that can really harbor any form of thoughts or feeling that I choose to want, that I condition myself, that I allow in my consciousness, I become then that stream and that level of consciousness in my reality. And when you can start to do that and condition your mind and condition your life with a new mind, new things will start to happen in your life. But you cannot be here as a victim and expect to create a positive, fulfilling, loving future. Because the more you spend here, the more you're going to create more victim event and situation in your life. And you're always going to come back feeling it's not working. I don't know how. It's never happening for me. The world is against me. It's working for others, but not for me. And when that happens, remind yourself that you are thinking in the box of the victim, and it's the ego disempowering you into belittling yourself. So step out, reclaim your power, think of yourself greater, know that you are an infinite being, that you can be doing whatever it is you want, but you have to start stepping out of this and going back into your core, meditating on this truth, meditating on new self-talk, on new identity, on new things that you want, creating a new mind and shedding away the old layers. And when you do that, everything starts to change. If you need help with breaking away from this, I'm available for coaching. You can book coaching session directly in the link down below. It's so much easier to break free from the chain of the past, to reprogram your subconscious mind when you work with someone who can shed awareness onto your pattern and can help you release things extremely fast. So if you're interested, you can check out on the link down below, guys. This is it for this video. Let me know what you think down in the comment. As always, thank you for watching this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to see more of this type of video. See you next time. Be well.